Hey everyone, it's Vicki Marie. I want to welcome you to my channel. Today I'm going to make homemade turkey noodle soup. Now if you saved your carcass as I did for Christmas, you'll have your carcass ready. This was a 24-pound turkey and I did save the carcass. I put it in my very old stock pot. I have a much newer one that's nice and shiny, but this one's huge, and as you can see, it's well used, but it's very big. So I was able to fit my entire carcass in here, and I added an entire carton of the Swanson chicken broth, and this is not the low sodium. I then added enough water to almost cover the entire carcass, not quite, because when it boils down, it will boil down the carcass and will cover that, but it's almost to the very top. That's as I said, a very tall stock pot. I then added some various seasonings. I added thyme, some rosemary, sage, some iodine or iodized sea salt, some peppercorn. And I am going back to check my carton to see if I used the low sodium, which I usually do use the low sodium chicken broth, but I did not this time. So I was adding some extra salt. I don't cook with a lot of salt. I also used some garlic pepper, and that's the sage, and it was a little hard to get out, so I was kind of shaking that kind of hard. You can use various seasonings, but my standard for turkey soup is, as I said, thyme, rosemary, sage, peppercorn. I will add a bay leaf if I had it. I would probably add 2, maybe even 3 bay leaves, because this is a pretty big pot, but I did not have bay leaf, so I didn't use it. I can tell you the soup turned out really good, so it didn't matter this time, but I would have thrown those in if I had them. I now took a medium chopped onion, probably about 4 celery stalks, and maybe 4 carrots. Some of those were left over on my relish tray from Christmas, so it's a good way to use up that relish tray if you have anything left. But so I'm putting onion, carrots, and celery. I even chopped up some of the celery leaves from the stalk and put those in there as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and stir that up. I actually poured the chicken broth right into the turkey cavity, right down the middle as well. Now I'm going to let that simmer, get that up to a nice boil, and let it simmer for about probably about 45 minutes to 1 hour on low. And this is a good time for a pie break. Lemon meringue is one of my favorite pies. Just like to contemplate life as we are finishing up the pie. Somebody has to do it. And after almost an hour of just simmering, I've got a nice broth here. And I'm going to now take this over and strain it in the sink. I placed a second stock pot on the bottom. This is my little bit better looking stock pot, and I have a strainer on top of that, and I'm just going to go ahead and pour my pot over here and strain all of the good broth. And now I've just discarded the carcass and the old vegetables. I've drained all of that out, and I'm just left with this broth. And now I transport the broth back over to the stove and get it simmering on low. For now, actually I think this is on medium because I want to get it back up to a boiling point. And now I added the fresh carrots and celery. I did not add more onion because I already made the broth with onion, but you could also add onion if you like. And I just added just fresh carrots and celery and chopped up turkey from the carcass and just what we had left over from from Christmas. So I'm probably adding about 4 cups of chopped turkey, and I'm just adding the dark meat. We always take the white meat and use that for sandwiches. I'm just going to get this up to boiling again, and then I'll turn it down and we'll simmer it. I'm adding some more seasoning. I'm going to go ahead and add some more thyme and sage and a little bit of garlic pepper, and then just pepper, this time not peppercorns. I do use peppercorns for the broth and when I'm boiling the carcass, because then I strain that all out, but at this point I'm just using the crushed pepper and some parsley now. We'll get this all stirred up and get it back up to a boiling point. Turn it down just a little bit. Actually, I think I turned it up just there because it's not quite boiling yet. I want to make sure it gets boiling. There it goes. Okay, we've got it boiling. I'm going to turn the heat down. Stir it. And now I'm going to add about 4 cups of noodles. Now I did check the celery and the carrots, and they were just about perfect. They need a little more time. They were a little bit too crunchy, but it's a perfect time to go ahead and put the pasta in, because that's going to take about 10 minutes to get the pasta to the right texture. So we want to make sure we boil that, but not over boil it. So I'm adding about 4 cups of egg noodles. They're the country egg noodles. I get a bag of these at Sam's Club, but you can add the pasta of your choice. It is really about your own preference. And now the carrots and the celery just need a little more time. So I probably put a little more than 4 cups, and I honestly, when all was said and done, I probably used too many noodles. So, but just use your preference, and I would say maybe about 4 cups, especially these egg noodles, they're pretty thick. So now I'm just going to bring that up to a low boil and let it simmer until the pasta is done. And the celery and the carrots are almost perfect right now. And this soup is done and ready to eat. It was so good, and as you can see, I put a lot of pasta in there, but it was so good. So hope you guys enjoy this recipe, and if you like my video, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks.